Early in my seminary career, the church has you study philosophy before you could even dream about touching theology. And for a lot of people, the philosophy stage is a sort of purgatory. Your brain starts to work in a way it's not really used to. It's like going to the gym for the first time and, ever. And a lot of people just don't like it. It's very uncomfortable to be taught logic or, the structuring of the mind and the structuring of arguments, the structuring of, later on, homilies, right? But in one of those classes, one I was particularly excited to go to just because, the name just sounded really cool, metaphysics. And in that class, we talk about things like, what are these qualities called transcendentals? Things like oneness or unity, or what is, being. And the professor one day in class, as we were learning about the transcendentals, asked us, what do you think out of the 5 transcendentals do you think is the most required for survival? What is the one out of what we have been studying is the one that you really need to live? And he asked a couple of people. Some said truth. Someone else said unity. And he gets to me, and no one had said this yet. So I decided to speak up and say this answer that no one else has said yet. For a couple of reasons. One, I thought I'd be rather coy, and I kind of like the underdog answer. But 2, to this day, I still believe it is true. And that transcendental that I said was beauty. My answer was beauty is the most important thing to live in this world. Now, to back up a little bit, what are these transcendentals, these capital T things I keep talking about? A transcendental, simply put, is a quality of being that is found in everything that exists, everything that has being. It transcends all those things. It suffuses all those things. It is found in all those things. So, unity is probably the easiest one to point out. I am one person. While I have many parts, those parts contribute to a unified whole. Sure, maybe in an accident I might lose a leg or a limb. But regardless, if I lose that member of my body, I'm still a unified whole. I don't suddenly become 2 Stevens. God is a unity within himself. And bonus points, because he has no parts, he is indivisible as a non-corporeal being. He is simple, which I don't think is a concept most people recognize when we discuss the Lord. He seems to be anything but simple, doesn't he? But going back to beauty. And I love this concept of beauty because, first off, not every single philosopher even agrees that beauty is a transcendental. And it's hard to disagree with them. You look at the very deepest of the inky black depths of the ocean, and you look at the fish and the sea life that are found there. Take, for instance, like the anglerfish, which has this huge protruding mouth full of razor-sharp teeth, and this dangling bit over his head to lure other fish in to make it its prey. You talk of beauty being found everywhere, and you look at this thing, and you can't help but think, my Lord, you're an ugly bugger, aren't you? But yet beauty is found even in the deepest regions of the Mariana Trench. So what is this beauty? Today we're going to divorce it from this notion that beauty is purely aesthetic, that it is simply pleasing to the eyes, though it is an important quality to it as well. Beauty is important because, as one of the arguments of Aquinas gives us, the closer we get to the source of these transcendentals, for they all ultimately lead back to God and have their origin in God. God is the ultimate source of unity, of truth, goodness, and yes, dare I say it, even beauty. And the closer we get to the Lord, the more we find these elements, these transcendentals in abundance. The more we find these elements of truth, good, and what is beautiful. Like a fire you see in the distance, you may recognize that it's fire, but you don't really feel the effect until the closer you walk towards it. The closer you get, the more you feel the radiant heat. The closer to the Lord we come, the closer to beauty, truth, and goodness we are. And I'm talking about this today for a very important reason. The world today is missing beauty in abundance. One of my absolute favorite lines in all of human literature is found in a Russian novel, The Idiot by Dostoevsky. In it, Prince Mishkin, the protagonist of this tale, utters the incredibly profound line, "Beauty will save the world." Beauty will save the world. And I, taking that as a jumping off point, would argue that beauty saves the world precisely because beauty is the antidote to cynicism. Beauty, when grasped and looked at, offers us what? Yes, something pleasing to look at, but it inspires the mind. It causes us to wonder. It gives us this childlike look at what is beautiful and causes us to revel in that beauty. It is the very direct antithesis to cynicism, which leads us to close off our minds, but then also to close off any source of growth we may wish to have. And in a world that seems to close off itself for a preference of echo chambers, we need this beauty more than ever. We need the beauty that is not only inherent in us, but also the beauty that is inherent in the other. To recognize the God who is the source of that beauty, not only in us, but in the other as well. One of these last Vespers, we talked about evangelization and what it means to evangelize. And basically, I said it boils down to, if you can tell others how God has worked in your life, you are an evangelist. If you can share that, you're evangelizing. But that good work the Lord has done in you is beauty. It is the beauty of love that has been worked in every single human. So really, we're called to share that beauty with the world. And through that beauty, through the sharing of it, save the world. And it's no simple thing that we are asking today, even though the process of it is incredibly simple. Be beautiful the way the Lord has made you to be beautiful, and you will save the world.